It is 2:47 a.m. The bedroom is completely dark. The house is silent. You have been lying here, eyes wide open, staring at the ceiling for what feels like hours. Your mind is racing, your body is exhausted, and you know with absolute certainty that if you do not get up and walk to the bathroom right now, you will not sleep for the rest of the night. This is the fourth time this week. The fourth time you have been ripped out of a deep sleep by that unmistakable, urgent signal. It is frustrating, it is exhausting, and it is making you feel like your body is betraying you. Here is the uncomfortable truth that nobody seems to want to tell you. It is probably not your prostate. It is probably not just your age. And it is almost certainly not that single glass of water you had before bed. The real culprit is something far more insidious, something hidden in plain sight. It is a pattern of mistakes you are making every single day, starting from the moment you wake up. And the solution has nothing to do with drinking less water. In fact, drinking less might be the very thing making it worse. Think of your body as a complex, highly sophisticated water management system. You are essentially a walking reservoir, and your organs are the engineers and operators. By the time you cross the threshold of 50, that system has undergone a fundamental redesign. The tank is smaller. The sensors are more sensitive. The pipes are older. And if you are still drinking water the way you did when you were 30, you are essentially setting off false alarms all night long. Your body is not broken. It is just different. And it is begging you to change the way you operate it. One of the most dangerous myths circulating in the world of health advice is the idea that the solution to nighttime urination is to simply cut back on fluids. This is like saying you should stop using your turn signal to avoid a car accident. The turn signal is not the problem. The problem is how and when you are using it. By restricting your water intake, you are creating a cascade of biological problems that make your bladder hypersensitive and hyperactive. Let us dismantle this myth completely. The first and most common mistake is not drinking too much water. It is drinking far too little water during the day. When you starve your body of the hydration it needs to function properly, you are essentially brewing a chemical cocktail inside your bladder. Your urine becomes highly concentrated, full of waste products and minerals that are meant to be diluted and flushed out. This thick, irritating fluid sits in your bladder, and the lining of your bladder, which is designed to be a smooth, stretchy barrier, becomes inflamed and agitated. Your brain does not just receive a signal that your bladder is filling up. It receives a distress signal. It receives an emergency alert that says, "This is irritating, this is uncomfortable, we need to deal with this immediately." That is why you can feel the urge to urinate even when your bladder is barely 1/3 full. You are not waking up because you have to go. You are waking up because your bladder is crying out for help. Now, let us talk about the second mistake. It is the tyranny of timing. Most people treat hydration like a homework assignment. They forget about it all day long, running on coffee and sheer willpower, and then they try to cram in all their water intake at night. You have an 8-ounce glass of water with dinner. You have a little more while you are watching the evening news. Perhaps you have a final glass to wash down your bedtime snack. Here is the biology behind this error. Your kidneys are not magic processors. They are biological filtration systems that operate at a remarkably consistent rate. They cannot simply speed up because you dumped a large volume of fluid into your system at 8 p.m. When you consume a large amount of water late in the evening, your kidneys are still processing that load at 2 a.m. That fluid has to go somewhere. It has to be filtered, processed, and sent down to your bladder for storage. The result is a full bladder right in the middle of your deepest sleep cycle. If you want to break this cycle, you need to flip the script entirely. Shift your intake so that you are consuming about 70 to 80% of your daily water before the late afternoon. Wake up and drink a glass of water immediately. Keep a bottle on your desk and sip from it consistently. Have a large glass with lunch. Then, as the evening approaches, you simply taper off. You give your kidneys the time they need to process the fluid while you are still awake, not while you are lying helplessly in bed. But there is a hidden variable, a ghost in the machine that can sabotage an entire day of perfect hydration. It is the salt shaker. A high-salt dinner is like putting a massive sponge into your system. Your body desperately wants to maintain a precise balance of salt and water in your bloodstream. When you consume too much salt, your body holds on to water, storing it in your tissues, trying desperately to dilute that sodium to a safe level. Then, something mechanical happens. When you lie down flat, that stored fluid, which was pooling in your lower extremities, is suddenly released back into your bloodstream. Your heart pumps this extra volume to your kidneys, and your kidneys go into overdrive trying to clear it. So, you are not just waking up to pee. You are waking up because your kidneys are working the night shift, frantically trying to rid your body of the excess salt you consumed hours earlier. Let us take a step back and look at the bigger picture. The real issue is not just the water. It is the entire culture of what we drink and when we drink it. People are often shocked to learn that a cup of coffee at 2 p.m. has a half-life of about 5 to 6 hours. This means that at 8 p.m., half of that caffeine is still circulating in your system. That caffeine is a stimulant. It increases blood flow to your kidneys and acts as a mild diuretic. It is encouraging your body to produce urine at a time when you should be winding down. And what about that glass of red wine with dinner? That glass of wine is suppressing a hormone called vasopressin. Vasopressin is the antidiuretic hormone. Its job is to tell your kidneys, hold onto this water, we need it, do not flush it all out. When you drink alcohol, you are essentially silencing that hormone. You are telling your kidneys to flush everything out, biologically programming yourself to produce more urine right before you go to sleep. So, we have covered the what and the when. But there is a fifth mistake that is entirely physical and mechanical, something that has nothing to do with what you eat or drink. It is a silent, creeping problem lurking in your legs. Have you ever noticed that your ankles look slightly puffier at the end of the day? Maybe your shoes feel a little tighter by the evening. This is fluid pooling in your lower extremities due to gravity. You have spent all day on your feet, and the fluid in your body has naturally settled downward. When you lie down, that fluid rushes back into your bloodstream. Your heart pumps it up to your kidneys, and suddenly you have an extra liter of fluid that your body needs to process while you are trying to sleep. This is often why people experience a massive surge of urination in the first few hours after falling asleep. It is not the water you drank before bed. It is the water that was hiding in your legs all day. To counter this, elevate your legs for 15 to 20 minutes before bed. Let gravity work in your favor. Let that fluid start moving back into your system while you are still awake. Let your kidneys process it before you drift off. This simple, mechanical change can be the difference between a peaceful night and a restless one. However, you can do everything right and still wake up at 3 a.m. That usually comes down to one final, overlooked detail. It is the art of rushing. When you are tired, you do a quick sweep of the bathroom and jump into bed. But your bladder is a muscle. It is a muscular sac that contracts to expel urine. And like any muscle, it needs a second to fully contract. If you rush, you are leaving a reserve of urine behind. That reserve fills up the empty space in your bladder much faster. It means you are going to be awake in a fraction of the time it would have taken if you had emptied completely. Stop. Breathe, lean forward slightly, relax completely. Wait an extra 30 seconds after you think you are done. Emptying every single drop is the final lock on the door that keeps the middle-of-the-night wake-ups out. Now, implement these simple changes for just 1 week. Be meticulous about your hydration timing. Reduce your evening salt intake. Limit caffeine to the morning hours. Elevate your legs before bed. And always empty your bladder completely. If you are still struggling, it is a sign that the problem has moved beyond simple water mechanics. It could be a prostate issue. It could be a medication side effect. It could be a metabolic problem like insulin resistance. That is not a failure. It is a clue. It is your body telling you it is time to see a professional. But for the vast majority of us, the path to a full, uninterrupted night of sleep is not a mystery. It is a discipline of the day. It is about respecting the fact that your body is a finely tuned instrument begging you to change the song. Think about what it means to have a full night of sleep. It is not just about avoiding the annoyance of getting out of bed. It is about recovery. It is about the clarity of your thinking, the stability of your mood, and the strength of your immune system. Sleep is the foundation upon which everything else is built. Without it, you are building on sand. It is 2:47 a.m. The alarm is set for 6. You have a choice to make. You can continue with the habits that are holding you hostage, the patterns that are keeping you tethered to the bathroom. Or you can take control of the simple, biological mechanisms that dictate your rest. You can become the master of your own sleep. Master the mechanics of your body, and the night will finally, peacefully, belong to you again. You will wake up in the morning not with a sense of dread, but with a sense of energy. You will face the day with the vigor that comes from a deep, restorative sleep. And you will realize that the power to fix this problem was never in a glass of water or a pill. It was in your own hands, in your own daily habits all along. You have the knowledge now, you understand the mechanics, you know the mistakes. Now it is time to act. Start tomorrow morning. Not next Monday, not after the holidays. Tomorrow, wake up and drink a glass of water. Keep that water bottle at your desk. Have a big glass with lunch. As the evening comes, taper off. Cut the salt. Cut the late-night alcohol. Elevate your legs. Empty your bladder completely. These are not radical changes. They are not painful sacrifices. They are simple adjustments that will pay dividends for the rest of your life. You owe it to yourself to try. You owe it to your partner, who has been waking up every time you get out of bed. You owe it to the person you will be tomorrow, who deserves to face the day with energy and optimism. This is not just about water. This is about reclaiming your nights. This is about taking back control. And it starts right now. Go to bed tonight with a new plan. Go to bed with confidence. And wake up tomorrow feeling like the person you used to be.